I love roguelikes, and it's no surprise that I'm back talking about another bundle of roguelikes that I love and recommend. For those that don't know what a roguelike or light is, a roguelike is where you die and you lose the majority or all of your progress. And a roguelite is a game in which you lose progress, but you do still carry over some items, currency, or abilities at the end of each run. In this video, we're going to be checking out a couple of roguelikes that are similar to each other, but each with their own unique characteristics, gameplay features, and one that might surprise you. So, without further ado, let's talk about some good-ass games. Curse of the Dead Gods is a roguelike in which you are an explorer diving into the depths of an ancient Aztec/Mayan temple, gathering gold, fighting monsters, and yeah, it sounds familiar. However, here, it's a top-down isometric adventure game, in where combat is very reminiscent to the Soulsborne series, in where dodging and parrying are key. However, the big twist here are the curses. The game starts you off in a hub, and it's here where you have to upgrade your character, or at least get to, and then proceed into exploring the 3 paths of the temple, each of them having their own unique environments, enemies, and traps. Once you pick a path, you're off to a randomly generated dungeon in where you're fighting monsters and explore for loot. Like previously mentioned, Dead Gods has a very Soulsborne approach to its combat, having you manage your stamina points, which are consumed by dodging and performing heavy attacks. You also have parries and perfect dodges that, if you achieve, restore 1 or 2 of your stamina points, so it's good to keep a good balance of those. Throughout the game, you'll find different weapon and weapon types, each having their own unique movesets. You'll always start with a melee weapon of some kind alongside a ranged or defensive weapon like a shield or a gun. Combat is intense and punishing and really rewards the player for learning enemies' attacks and movements alongside aggression. That's where greed kills come into play. Once you kill an enemy, a timer starts going, and it's here where the more kills you get, the higher the chance you get for more gold being dropped by enemies, rewarding aggression but patience at the same time, because if you're hit, that bonus is reset. One of the more important mechanics while exploring and even in combat is your torch. All the dungeons are pretty much pitch black for the most part, and you'll going to be holding this torch for the majority of the time, trying to light whatever banisters and sources that you could find. Because if you're in the dark, you will be taking extra damage, so it's important to maintain a good balance of keeping the lights on. The torch can even be used as a weapon, lighting enemies ablaze and having them become a moving light source. However, the most important mechanic in the game in general are the curses. Every time you finish a floor, use a health pool to regain health, or get damaged by an enemy with a dark weapon, your corruption will increase, and is dictated by this bar here. Once that bar is full, you'll get a curse at the end of whatever floor you're on. Each curse serves as a modifier to the game, changing the way how the world, enemies, or even your character work. Curses are permanent and can only be removed after defeating a boss in the later levels of the game. You'll be able to find new ways to reduce your corruption, however once that bar is full, that's it. You're cursed for the rest of that floor that you're on. They aren't game breaking, but they serve more as roadblocks or obstacles that will make you change the way you approach enemies, exploration, and adding much more strategy to how you fight, which route you take, and if it's worth sacrificing your blood for an item or attribute. That's right, you'll also be able to purchase items and attributes, which are skill points that determine your health, damage, and luck. Purchasing stuff can be done by gold or by using your own blood, causing you to trade health for items. There's a lot of risk versus reward in this game, and if you know me, I love that stuff. And it really does reward you for almost every aspect of this game's gameplay. There's a lot that you have to learn firsthand, and that's simply the beauty of roguelikes. Just going in blind and seeing what works is fun, and this game does such a great job of not just doing that, but ensuring that you feel powerful at the end of your run, and that you're progressing. Previously mentioned that this hub is where you start, and it's here where you pick whatever random weapon set is in front of you, like Dead Cells, and upgrade and unlock a number of weapons and abilities. If you're familiar with Dead Cells, the upgrade structure here is very similar. First off, you got blessings, passive abilities that stick with your character in every run, like starting off with a certain amount of gold or attribute points, or even having more of an illumination radius on your fire. You can also unlock weapons that you find during your runs, upgrade the quality of your selection of your starter weapons, or purchase divine favors, which let you re-roll those weapons a few times. You gain crystal skulls pretty naturally and occasionally from enemies that you'll use for blessings, upgrading starter weapons, and more. Jade rings are dropped by bosses and are used to unlock more weapons that you'll find in each run, and you'll also have blood emblems that you get after each successful run that unlock more bosses and paths. So no matter how many crushing defeats you have, you will at least have gained something to unlock more blessings, upgrade weapons, and more. At the start of each run, you pick a path out of 3 main environments and then pick your starter room. Similar to how Slay the Spire works, each floor and each room has its own benefits. In that, at the end of each floor, you will at least gain gold, a weapon upgrade, health, a relic that boosts your stats, attributes, challenges, or something random. Every time the layout is different, and like I said before, the risk versus reward in this game really shines in its combat, exploration, and decision making in every moment of the gameplay, and it's engaging and fun. When it comes to roguelikes, this has to be one of the more engaging ones that I've ever played. Nearly every aspect of it has to do with that risk versus reward mindset, like some of my other games, and it really does make you think and be patient and mindful of all the combat encounters, curses, and stats. It's one I can't recommend enough if you're looking for something that's more of a challenge in terms of a roguelike or a game in general. So check it out, it's a lot of fun, and they just had a Dead Cells update which adds Dead Cells aspects to its gameplay and items and stuff like that, so it's pretty cool. Going Under is a very unique game. You play as Jackie, an unpaid intern at this strange drink startup company called Fizzle, going through dungeons of dead startups and figuring out why they failed, fighting monsters and exploring unique environments. Yeah, it's a weird one. Going Under is very much unique in so many of its aspects, and that holds true with its gameplay. It's your standard dungeon crawler, however here you need to use any and everything in the room to kill monsters, from staplers to monitors to even succulents and thumbtacks. Combat is very improvisational, in which your weapons break Breath of the Wild style after a short use, so you'll have to pick up whatever is around you to survive, which might make or break for most, and for me personally, it was a big make. I love how you have to constantly improvise, throwing weapons and weapons having to constantly break and having to pick up whatever's around you. It's fun. Exploration, on the other hand, is very similar to Binding of Isaac, which, if you know, is one of my favorite games of all time. Going room to room on each floor, finding buffs and items, purchasing items at stores, sacrificing your health for items if you'd like. Yeah, it's almost identical, but that's not a bad thing, because Binding of Isaac is fire. Its most standout aspect, however, is its style and music, and it's really good. You have up to 3 different dungeon areas to explore, which represent 3 different startup companies that have been dead, I guess, and you have to explore and figure out why they died. Like a job site, a cryptocurrency mining company, and even a dating app. And let me just say, the dating app soundtrack, fucking fire. It's a good ass beat. Same goes with the cryptocurrency mining boss at the end. You're finding some SoundCloud rapper, which is crazy, but he has a good ass song with some trap drums and everything. It's incredible. Each environment is unique, having its own enemies, weapons, music, bosses, and objectives. And each one isn't too long. Each run is only about 4 floors, counting the boss floor, which is pretty interesting. Going for shorter runs, as opposed to the longer runs of Curse of the Dead Gods or even Binding of Isaac. As previously mentioned, you'll be getting buffs/skills similar to the Binding of Isaac. However, here they're a lot more interesting, as it has more of an interesting twist. The more you use a certain skill, the more you'll be able to get it endorsed, which means you'll be able to pick one skill at the start of your run to pretty much start with that skill, which is pretty cool. Not only that, but you also have mentor skills. Throughout the game, you'll be doing side missions and tasks for your coworkers, and eventually they'll be your mentor and give you a buff of some kind, like stealing an item from the shop, or having fizzle drinks drop from enemies and using them as elemental AoEs, on top of the apps that you'll find, which give you a mainly one-time use abilities like getting discounts at shops or summoning an ally, similar to the card system in Binding of Isaac. Nearly all the characters in the hub will give you tasks for Jackie to do and will mostly progress the story. Yeah, there's a story, and it's structured pretty similarly to Hades, as in every few runs something will happen and characters will interact with each other and you get to talk to them and there's something new for them to say. The writing is hit or miss, and it's mainly having this Silicon Valley type hipster millennial humor, but it's nice to kind of interact with all the characters and getting to know them and getting to do missions for them. It's pretty cool. Completing side missions and simply exploring and clearing floors gets you qubits, or I think that's what they're called. And you'll use these to buy more skills that you'll find throughout your runs, which is similar to Dead Gods, so that's pretty cool. It's a fun loop since it's more of a roguelite, and it's similar in terms of difficulty compared to Dead Gods. You'll never walk away empty-handed. You'll always at least get qubits to buy more skills, endorse a skill, or work towards a task that earns you even more stuff. If you're looking for a straight-up fun game, this is the game for you. Going Under is the game for you. It's weird and unique, and you'll constantly be on your toes during combat, but not that much. It's kind of just, you can just fuck around and just have fun in there. It's not super punishing like Dead Gods is. This one's more low-key, fun, chill, and it's cool because you always have something to upgrade and something to unlock. Its story and style is also something that highlights. It's charming and overall has a good vibe to its soundtrack, especially that I've been listening to on repeat. It's really, really cool and has quirky lo-fi beats that I really liked. Just like Dead Gods, I cannot recommend these two games enough. Now on to a game that's a lot more stranger. So here's a more interesting approach to a roguelite, because this is literally downhill domination as a roguelike, and I love it. However, its appeal is more for those that want something much more chill, and it's chill alright, and it's a good ass chill game. Let's get into it. This one's a lot more simpler than the other games, and so this one's gonna be pretty quick. So you're a bicyclist, a mountain biker, and you got this bike, and you're at the top of the hill, and you're trying to get down at the end of the hill. And that's pretty much it. It's simple. You have health that goes away every time you crash, but you can gain it back by doing any random objective that you get at the start of each trail that you do. After each trail that you do, you get to pick a path and just keep on riding. There's not much here, but its simplicity is just chill fun. Each trail that you choose to ride in has different stats depending on what kind of way you want to ride, depending on steepness, curviness, and stunts. And of course, I went for mainly steep and curvy trails because I love going super fast and doing those drifts. The game is split up into these 3 biomes, and each one has a lot of trails for you to do. But you don't need to do them all because the main focus is the boss trails. Boss trails are slightly more difficult, with the main aspect being the crazy stunts that you need to do at the end. And once you do it, you win and you move on to the next biome. Completing each biome a certain amount of times earns you a shortcut to skip that biome entirely. So it has a pretty cool roguelite element to it as well. While riding trails, you'll get points for stunts or going fast, and eventually you'll get a sponsor, which are passive buffs or changes to the game, like faster flips, smoother trails, and yeah, just simple stuff like that. The game is super simple, but the main reason I want to talk about it is it's an interesting approach to a roguelike, and it's be more interesting to see this be implemented into more racing games. Like imagine a Need for Speed roguelike. It'd be crazy. So yeah, it was cool. The Cinders isn't much, but it shines in what it focuses on, and it's just straight up fun going down mountains. It's a simple concept with interesting roguelike elements with it. It's definitely something I recommend you check it out, just to chill out and vibe to. It's available on Game Pass, so go ahead and try it out. You have nothing to lose there. It's just a lot of fun, I'll be honest. And that's about a wrap. There's definitely a lot more games I want to talk about, and that's for a much more later video. Not too late, but like I said, Slay the Spires definitely want to check out, and a lot Spelunky 2 as well. But there's a lot of games. I'll probably do a big video covering like 5 games, but yeah, we'll see. Let me know what you're interested in, or if you checked out these games, let me know what you thought about these games, if you checked them out already. And let me know what you guys have been playing too, and what roguelikes you would like me to check out for the next video. Because I love roguelikes, and these are good ones, so I hope you check them out and enjoy them as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time for some more video game and hip-hop talk. Hip-hop talk is coming back. Sessions coming back, baby. Just wait for it. Stay safe out there. Love each other, and have a good ass day. Thank you again so much for watching.